to my Fashion Stories Box podcast, a podcast about stories in fashion history. I am Catherine, and I'm so glad to welcome you here. Let's discover together interesting facts about fashion and history and fashion history. In this new episode of my Fashion Stories Box podcast, we will immerse ourselves in the dazzling world of the Met Gala, one of the most iconic events in the fashion world, by exploring its rich history, evolution, controversies, and iconic moments. The origins and current state of the Met Gala are the work of three influential women in the American fashion world: Eleanor Lambert, Diana Vreeland, and Anna Wintour. Each of these women left her signature to make this event maybe the most looked after one in the fashion industry alongside the fashion weeks. It's 1948, and Eleanor Lambert, an American fashion publicist who played a pivotal role in the promotion of the American fashion industry worldwide during and after the Second World War, with the organization of the first Modern Fashion Week in New York and the creation of the Council of Fashion Designers of America, established an event as a fundraiser for the recently created Costume Institute at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The concept behind it was a gala followed by an evening dinner. For the first gala, the price of the ticket was $50 per person. The guests were mostly fashion industry insiders and members of the New York High Society. As for the venues, they were essentially high-end ones as the Waldorf Astoria and the Rainbow Room. The practice of giving a theme to the gala was already there, and reports mention that the first theme of the Met Gala in 1948 was Fashion Pleasure Party, the World in Dress, and celebrated the world of fashion in general. In early years, the themes were relatively broad and not tied to specific designers or exhibitions. Fast forward to the 70s and enters Diana Vreeland, as that time editor of Vogue US. Through her role of consultant for the Costume Institute, she implemented a series of changes which would completely modify the face and the reach of the gala. First, it was decided to match the party's theme to the exhibitions, such as romantic and glamorous Hollywood design in 1974 or Diaghilev, costumes and designs of the Ballet Russe in 1978. Second, the guest list became more glamorous and celebrity-focused, with attendees including Andy Warhol, Diana Ross, and Cher. Decors, entertainment, and party themes became more elaborate, and the gala started to be associated with popular culture. It is also during the period of Diana Vreeland that the gala was moved to the Metropolitan Museum of Art itself. In 1995, Vogue US editor-in-chief Anna Wintour became chair of the gala and further elevated its status as one of the most exclusive and high-profile social events. Under her leadership, the gala has gained international renown and is now regarded as the Oscar of the East Coast. The event has become one of the most exclusive and high-profile social events attended by a wide range of celebrities from various industries. With the increase of elitism of the attendees' profiles, the ticket price skyrocketed. Tickets for the 2024 edition of the Met Gala are reportedly costing around $17,000 each, and an entire table costing $350,000, according to the Business of Fashion quoting the New York Times. One of the first decisions of Anna Wintour when she became chair of the gala was to change the date of it. At the origins done in December, starting from 1995, it was organized on the first Monday of May, coinciding with the opening of the Costumes Institute exhibition. As a bit of a control freak, Anna Wintour oversees all details of the gala. She has instituted rules such as banning selfies and restricting guests to those 18 years old and older. Stickers are put on mobile phone cameras to avoid pictures and videos, and the only visual testimonies you can obtain from the dinner and the after party are those taken by the official photographers. Over the decades, the Met Gala has transformed from a relatively modest fundraiser in its early years to a globally recognized, high-profile fashion and celebrity event under the leadership of Diana Vreeland and Anna Wintour. The Met Gala has become a major fundraiser for the Costume Institute, gathering around 550 attendees each time and raising over 175 million USD since its inception. Now that we have a deeper knowledge of the history of the Met Gala, let's see how the themes are chosen and who are the people in charge of it. As we saw, since Diana Vreeland, the themes of the Met Gala are chosen to align with the annual fashion exhibition hosted by the Costume Institute at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Themes are selected to complement the annual spring exhibition, which runs for several months. The themes can be put into 4 main categories. The first one, paying homage to specific designers, as Christian Dior in 1996, Gianni Versace in 1997, the House of Chanel in 2005, Poiret, King of Fashion in 2007, Alexander McQueen, Savage Beauty in 2011, Schiaparelli and Prada, Impossible Conversations in 2012, Rei Kawakubo, Comme des Garçons, Art of the In-Between in 2017, Karl Lagerfeld, A Line of Beauty in 2023. The second category, focusing on fashion movements, as haute couture in 1995, rock style in 1999, punk, chaos to couture in 2013, Manux and Machina, fashion in the age of technology in 2016. The third category, analyzing cultural influences, as cubism and fashion in 1998, Anglomania, Tradition and Transgression in British Fashion in 2006, Superheroes, Fashion and Fantasy in 2008, American Women, Fashioning a National Identity in 2010, China Through the Looking Glass in 2015, and the last category, studying fashion history periods, as Goddess, the Classical Mode in 2003, Dangerous Liaison, Fashion and Furniture in the 18th Century in 2004, Heavenly Bodies, Fashion and the Catholic Imagination in 2018, Gilded Glamour in 2022. Always trying in every category to mix past, present, and future of fashion history, its impacts and interactions. The 2024 theme, Sleeping Beauty's Reawakening Fashion, also known as the Garden of Time, was about exploring the reawakening of older fashion pieces through technology on the past and the future of fashion history. The Met Gala themes have evolved from broad celebrations of fashion to more specific explorations of designers, movements, and cultural influences, often tied to the Costume Institute's annual exhibitions. Each Met Gala theme dictates the dress code, decor, and overall purpose of the event, which serves as a grand display of fashion as art. And who's behind all this theme magic? 2 people play a crucial role in the choice of the Met Gala theme each year: the Costume Institute's curators and the chair of the Met Gala. Currently, these people are Andrew Bolton, the chief curator of the Costume Institute at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and Anna Wintour, also Vogue US editor-in-chief. Their main task is to come up with an appropriate and engaging theme each year. Andrew Bolton and his team at the Costume Institute are responsible for selecting the theme each year as it needs to complement the annual fashion exhibition. Then Andrew Bolton presents the proposed theme's concepts to the museum's director and president for approval. The research and planning for the theme take place generally 1 year in advance of the actual exhibition and gala. Anna Wintour provides input as the chair to ensure the theme will be appropriate and engaging and creatively explore the different realms of fashion history and artistry. But let's not forget about all the behind-the-scenes work. It takes a village to bring these themes to life. From designers to decorators, everyone plays a part in making the Met Gala the fashion event of the year. So next time you are marveling over those jaw-dropping Met Gala looks, remember the creative minds behind the scenes making it all happen. As the next Met Gala theme has already been chosen, it's difficult to anticipate any controversy that can arise, as well as the actual state of the world and the society 1 year in advance. Speaking of controversies, for the last editions, the maybe most controversial Met Gala theme was Heavenly Bodies, Fashion and the Catholic Imagination in 2018. The theme explored the influence of Catholicism on fashion, but some felt it was disrespectful for the Catholic religion. Rihanna's papal mitre, an opulent strapless mini dress with a matching colored robe by Maison Margiela Artisanal, sparked controversy, some critics suggesting her look was disrespectful. Scarlett Johansson's look that year was also criticized for not adhering to the theme and being insensitive given the political climate at the time. The theme and some of the outfits were seen by many as inappropriate and offensive to Catholic sensibilities. The most controversial outfit worn to the Met Gala was Kim Kardashian's Marilyn Monroe dress at the 2022 events with the theme In America, an anthropology of fashion. Kim Kardashian wore the exact nude dress embellished with tiny crystals that Marilyn Monroe wore when she sang Happy Birthday, Mr. President to John Kennedy in 1962. People were angered by Kardashian's decision to wear the fragile, historic dress, fearing it would be damaged. While it has been confirmed the dress was not harmed, Kardashian's weight loss to fit into the dress also drew criticism. All of this, re-questioning the place historical garments have to be worn or just displayed in museums and the female ballet. Other controversial outfits mentioned include Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez 2021 Tax the Rich dress, Cara Delevingne 2021 Peg the Patriarchy outfit. As per best outfits worn to the Met Gala in recent years include Gigi Hadid in a custom Giambattista Valli gown and Lana Del Rey in a custom Alexander McQueen gown for the latest edition of the Met Gala, Sleeping Beauty's Reawakening Fashion. For earlier editions, we can note Doja Cat wearing a dress by Oscar de la Renta, a makeup and ears to pay tribute to Choupette, Karl Lagerfeld's cat for the Karl Lagerfeld, a line of beauty 2023 theme. Blake Lively in a dress from Atelier Versace for the Gilded Glamour 2022 theme. Lady Gaga's 4 Brandon Maxwell looks for the 2019 camp theme, Zendaya in a Versace creation, and Cardi B in Moschino for the Heavenly's Body 2019 theme, Rihanna's Guope creation and Beyoncé's sheer Givenchy dress for the 2015 China Through the Looking Glass theme, and Sarah Jessica Parker in Alexander McQueen for the 26 Anglomania Tradition and Transgressions in British Fashion theme. The decision to tell which the best outfits are worn for a particular gala can be particularly tricky and subjective based on each personal sense or of aesthetics and understanding of the theme. Some general elements can be taken into consideration as which looks perfectly capture the theme of the gala while staying true to the celebrity's personal style and providing a theatrical, even dramatic touch. We could think that the Met Gala and its different themes are here just to be beautiful, to reinforce the class privileges and barriers between the VIP who can attend it and the rest who can just watch it from afar and dream of being part of this glamorous and sparkling world one day. However, the Met Gala theme is not here just to create the buzz, good or bad. This event also has a certain importance in the fashion industry. First of all, the theme chosen for each gala sets the creative direction and inspiration designers and attendees have to respect. The theme challenges fashion houses and celebrities to conceptualize and create innovative, avant-garde looks that interpret the concept in unique ways. This pushes boundaries and fuels artistic expressions within the industry. Moreover, it celebrates fashion as a form of art. Each theme explores a specific area of fashion history, cultural influence, or design movement. This allows the Met Gala to showcase fashion artistry, craftsmanship, and ability to make powerful cultural statements. It provides a platform for emerging designers. While established fashion houses often take center stage, the Met Gala's themes give up-and-coming talents an opportunity to have their creations seen and appreciated by industry leaders. It drives trends and influences future fashion cycles. The avant-garde looks and daring styles showcased at the Met Gala often trickle down and inspire mainstream fashion trends in the following seasons. It celebrates fashion's role in a broader cultural conversations. And finally, the theme and the way it has been interpreted by designers and attendees generates global attention and buzz. The anticipation around the theme builds tremendous hype and media coverage each year. This amplifies fashion influence and relevance on an international scale by exploring fashion intersections with societal issues, political movements, or historical events, allowing the industry to engage with and comment on this narrative through clothing and styles. By setting an annual creative challenge and vision, the Met Gala theme ensures fashion remains a dynamic, innovative, and culturally relevant art form that constantly reinvents itself. Did you know that the Met Gala themes have the power to shape global fashion markets? As any other large-scale social and cultural event, the Met Gala and its assigned theme can predict and influence potential global markets, all amplified by the resonance of social media. The Met Gala themes have influenced and sparked several fashion trends over the years, which trickled down to mainstream brands. Let me give you some concrete examples. The 2013 theme, Punk Chaos to Couture, brought punk fashion elements like studs, safety pins, ripped fabrics, and bold hair colors back into fashion. The 2015 theme, China Through the Looking Glass, brought focus to China's growing luxury retail market, foreshadowing its rise as a major fashion consumer in the years to come. This theme also highlighted Asian aesthetics, embroidery, and silhouettes, increasing their popularity in Western fashion, though nowadays they could be easily labeled as cultural appropriation. Remember the 2018 Heavenly Bodies theme? It brought religious motifs like the crosses, halos, and veils into fashion looks. The 2019 theme, Camp Notes on Fashion, popularized over-the-top, flamboyant looks featuring feathers, exaggerated silhouettes, and bold colors, as well as the coming back of pearls and the pearl core trends thanks to Harry Styles' outfit. The 2022 theme, Gilded Glamour theme, revived the corset trend, with celebrities like Billie Eilish and Sydney Sway donning modern interpretations of the Victorian undergarment. This 2022 Met Gala theme also streamed the puffy and exaggerated sleeve fashion and the opera-length gloves. I'm really curious to see how fashion brands will interpret the 2024 Garden of Time Met Gala theme in their upcoming collections. Now, let's take a trip down memory lane and explore some of the historical inspirations behind these themes. I decided to shortlist 4 Met Gala themes which at least are, for me, pure fashion history oriented. the 2003 Goddess, the Classical Mode, the 2004 Dangerous Liaison, Fashion and Furniture in the 18th Century, the 2018 Heavenly Bodies, Fashion and the Catholic Imagination, and the 2022 Gilded Glamour themes. I will also talk about the 2024 theme and my personal interpretation of it. First on my list, the 2003 Met Gala Goddess, the Classical Mode. This theme and the affiliated exhibition were described as follows in the book published for the occasion. Goddess, the Classical Mode, explores the continually evolving influence of ancient Greco-Roman dress through the ages. Over the past 2.5 millennia, the classical mode has unfolded and persisted, finding expression in a variety of artworks and through them in fashion. Fashions inspired by the classical ideal can be elegant, romantic, or provocative reminders of Venus, goddess of love, of Diana, goddess of the hunt, or of the martial ancient tribe of women called Amazons. Most are in pale tones of white or beige, the result of the bleaching out of ancient, originally polychromed marbles that has occurred over many centuries. So, the central idea behind it is the antiquity fashion and aesthetics from ancient Greece and ancient Rome, all in draping and pleats with long and lean silhouettes for women in a more neutral color palette. By looking at some pictures from that gala, I haven't been really convinced by the outfit worn. It could have been regular evening dresses worn for any type of red carpet events. My favorite interpretation of the classical theme was the Stella McCartney white dress worn by Kate Hudson. Her hairstyle is also very much aligned with an ancient Greek or an ancient Roman one. Nicole Kidman in a Gucci dress by Tom Ford is also a good interpretation of the antiquity fashion aesthetics with a touch of modernity. Second stop, the 2004 theme Dangerous Liaisons, Fashion and Furniture in the 18th Century. Let's look at the assignment brief as per the book of the exhibition. During the reigns of Louis XV, 1723 to 1774, and Louis XVI, 1774 to 1792, fashion and furniture merged ideals of beauty and pleasure through their forms and embellishments. With their fragile surfaces and delicate proportions, tables, chairs, and other pieces of furniture enhanced the elite's indulgence in leisurely pursuits, fostering highly complex standards of etiquette and performance. Men and women restated the splendor of the Rococo and neoclassical interiors of the period in their opulent costumes. For the 18th century libertine and femme du monde, a refined elegance and delicate voluptuousness infused their world with a mood of amorous delight. Dangerous Liaisons takes its theme from this era when trifling and love propelled the energies of elite men and women, providing almost daily stimulating encounters, and when, as has been written, morally lost but society gained. So here we are expecting Rococo-style looks à la Comtesse du Barry and à la Marie-Antoinette. Think wigs, French-style dresses with panier, corsets, pastel colors and floral prints, an extravaganza of lace, ribbons and other accessories mixed with scandal, sensuality and seduction. And the Oscar for the best interpretation of the theme goes to model Amber Valletta. We have a wig, we have a corset, we have volumes at the hips echoing the panier. Her look is the one we associate the easiest with the chosen theme and period of time. Followed by Michelle Herbert, whose look is composed of a corseted bodice dress with a long, silky, voluminous skirt, a vest with rococo floral patterns and lace engageante, a huge diamond necklace, maybe as a reference to the scandal of Marie Antoinette's necklace, a hairstyle echoing those of the 18th century. And then we have model Michelle Hicks' dress featuring a corseted bodice, a type of prints and color palette reminding the Rococo period. Interestingly speaking, from the Getty Images website I consulted, those who had looks more aligned with the 18th century period were referred to as guests. I guess they weren't celebrities, but to me, they really nailed the topic. Third stop in our historical inspirations research from Met Gala themes, the controversial 2018 Heavenly Bodies, Fashion and the Catholic Imagination theme. Let's discover the assignment. The Costume Institute Spring 2018 exhibition at the Met Fifth Avenue and the Met Cloisters features a dialogue between fashion and medieval art from the Met collection to examine fashion's ongoing engagement with the devotional practices and traditions of Catholicism. So what do we have here? Catholic religion, Middle Ages, liturgical garments, representation of the sacred, of the characters of the Bible, the way the Catholic Church saw women. And even if this was maybe the most controversial theme for Met Gala, as some perceived it as disrespectful to the Catholic religion itself, I must say that the assignment has been well understood by the attendees. You have Madonna in a dark Jean-Paul Gaultier dress embodying a Virgin Mary representation with a crown and a veil, a very modest attire for such a scandalous personality. You have Kate Upton in Zac Posen dress, with a hood hiding the hair and a crown as a sign of modesty and divinity. You have Jennifer Connelly in a Louis Vuitton dress looking like an armor, and Zendaya in an Atelier Versace costume personifying Joan of Arc's armor, or maybe the armor worn by the Crusaders. You have Marjorie Harvey in a Dolce & Gabbana dress embellished with crosses in an almost Byzantine opulent way. Same for Emilia Clarke in a Dolce & Gabbana Altamoda dress. You have Solange Knowles in a Iris van Herpen dress and Lauren Schwartz jewelry. Notice the beautiful crown looking like the halo representing the sacred nature of a saint. Carly B in a Moschino and another beautiful halo crown. Jennifer Lopez in a Balmain dress with a big cross in the front. Stella Maxwell in a Moschino dress embellished with representations of the Virgin Mary. Chadwick Boseman in a very papal Versace outfit. Lana Del Rey and Jared Leto in Gucci. Taylor Hill in a Diane von Furstenberg dress similar to the papal dress. Greta Gerwig in a black and white dress from the Raw giving monastic vibes. And of course, Rihanna's very controversial papal outfit by Maison Margiela. Let's stop before moving to this year 2024 theme, the 2022 Gilded Glamour theme. For this edition of the Met Gala, the Gilded Age was the focus point. This period corresponds to the end of the 19th century between the 1870s and the 1890s. It refers to a particular period of the United States of America corresponding to a time of rapid economic growth, particularly in the northern and western part of the country. It's the period of the Second Industrial Revolution, the development of rail transportation, and the overall improvement of the living and working conditions. This period corresponds to the second half of the Victorian period in England and to the Belle Époque in France. The name Gilded Age derives from the title of a novel published by Mark Twain in 1873, The Gilded Age, A Tale of Today. The instructions given to the attendees for this Met Gala was to wear white tie attire, a very traditional formal version of evening dress, which can include floor-length ball gowns, black pants with matching jackets or coats with tails that hit the back of the knees, according to Vanity Fair. So what was the fashion at that time? For women, dresses become more body-tight to give the impression of tallness. The corset is still here, compressing even more the breasts, accentuating the waist. The volume of the skirt is brought in the back thanks to a bustle and flat in the front. The overall silhouette gives the impression of a pigeon with a wide breast and a tail in the back. In more specific terms, we call it the S-bend silhouette. Embellishments are huge with ribbons, ruffles, voluminous sleeves, and extravagant hats and types of fabrics more diversified in order to reflect the economic prosperity and the technological advancements of the time. Fashion historian and curator Kate Strazdin described the Gilded Age fashion as very embellished, very exaggerated, very structured. And this is what we are looking for in this interpretation of this Met Gala theme. For me, the attendees who understood the best the assignments are Paloma Elsesser in a coach dress. We have a very structured silhouette with a corset. The skirt of the dress features a short train characteristic of the time, and it's fitted. Preciously, in an Althusara dress for the same comments as earlier, Bella Hadid in a Burberry dress for the Toulouse-Lautrec Gothic-inspired look, Lala Anthony in a Laquan Smith dress, Blake Lively in an Atelier Versace dress personifying the symbol of New York and of Gilded Age period, a gift from France created by Gustave Eiffel, the Statue of Liberty. But for me, the one who was really spot on this 2022 Met Gala theme was Billie Eilish in her costume Gucci dress by Alessandro Michel. She could have been painted in a Toulouse-Lautrec painting. She could have been featured in an illustration from Vogue in the 1880s. The silhouette is structured with a corset, a bustle, a train in the back, and a fitted front, and the waist is emphasized. It's extravagant in the embellishment and the type of fabrics used. You have a choker, which was pretty fashionable at that time, and the hairstyle is in line with the assigned period. Good job! And what about this year's theme? We are about to unravel the mysteries of the 2024 Met Gala theme, Sleeping Beauty's Reawakening Fashion. Fasten your seatbelts because we are about to take a deep dive into the Garden of Time. The dress code topic, the Garden of Time, was inspired by a short story of the same name written in 1962 by the English writer G. Ballard. The Garden of Time is the story of a good-looking and sophisticated couple, the Count Axel and his wife. They live a decadent life in their beautiful villa full of rare and fine objects. They also have a pool and a garden. What a luxury! However, outside their estate, it's completely empty, until an unruly rabble appears in the distance. Each time the Count cuts a flower from his garden, the time rewinds and the noisy crowd goes back. After some time, all the flowers have been cut and the garden is barren. The unruly crowd becomes closer and closer. The couple puts away its precious belongings associated with their civilized life, preparing themselves to end it with the coming of the unruly crowd. Some articles say that this novel is a metaphor of the evolution of human history and the endless cycle of creation and destructions that can be found in the theme of the Costume Institute's exhibition Sleeping Beauties. Others, mostly myself to be honest, see it as a commentary on the exclusivity of the fashion industry. Think about it. The couple represent the elite celebrities at the Met Gala. Their gardens symbolize the event itself, and the unruly crowd? Well, they're all the outsiders longing to be part of this glamorous world. It's a wicked message, I do agree, but one that begs us to question the elitism of the fashion industry. By looking at the pictures from the gala, I classified the looks into 4 main categories in line with the theme. Animals of the garden, the gardener, flowers, the characters from the Garden of Time. Let me give you some examples for each category. For the animal of the garden category, you have the butterfly, represented in dresses worn by Jennifer Lopez in Schiaparelli and Emily Ratajkowski in Versace and Chopard, evoking the translucency of butterflies' wings. Preciously in Bad Bing Tong Tong and Iris Law in Versace also remind me of butterflies. I also spotted what could be snakes or lizards, other inhabitants of a garden, in the dresses worn by Giovanna Engelbert in Swarovski, Gabrielle Union in Michael Kors, and Anok Yai in Swarovski also. And I also saw spiders and spider webs in the dresses worn by Ugbad Abdi in Atelier Prajal Gunrung and Pascal Bruni. For the second category, the gardener, the most emblematic looks would be Lana Del Rey in Alexander McQueen, looking every bit the fashionable gardener prepared to take care of his bees, while Sarah Jessica Parker transformed into a greenhouse in a Richard Quinn dress, which shape and embellishments can evoke a greenhouse in a summer garden, a theme we can find in the outfits worn by Amelia Gray in Undercover and Messica, Brie Larson in Prada and Fred Leighton, and Carol G in Messica. The flower category was heavily represented. I shortlisted my favorite looks. Ayo Edebiri in a low-waist dress, Cynthia Evero in Thom Brown, Jordan Roth in Valentino, and Nicki Minaj in Marni bloomed in floral masterpieces, while Gigi Hadid embodied the essence of a rose bush in Thom Brown and Eiza Gonzalez Rivera in Delcourt with Cartier, together with Demi Moore in Harris Reed and Cartier were flowers in human shapes. Last but not least, we have the characters from the Garden of Time, the Count Axel and his wife. Gwendoline Christie and Barry Keoghan brought the story to life in Maison Margiela and Burberry respectively, well, at least in my imagination. But amidst all the glamour, one element was notably underrepresented: time itself. Tila's Balmain ensemble was a rare nod to the passing of time, with a bag cleverly resembling a hourglass. As per the Sleeping Beauties of fashion, we can note the nod of Nicole Kidman's dress echoing a Balenciaga dress from the 50s, and the one of Isabelle Huppert, also in Balenciaga, but an interpretation of the Kahlo third wedding dress from the 30s, one of the Kahlo sisters being the great-grandmother of the French actress. So, what do you think of my analysis? Do you agree or disagree? And most importantly, what were your favorite looks from this year's Met Gala? Let's keep the conversation going. And that's a wrap for today's episode of my Fashion Stories Box podcast. But before we go, let's look at some of the criticism aimed at the Met Gala. One of the most common critiques is that the outfits often miss the mark when it comes to interpreting the event theme. It's like showing up to a costume party but without a costume, right? Then there's the guest list. Critics argue that it's more about star power and influence than genuine contributions to the fashion industry. And let's not forget the display of excessive wealth during times of economic hardship. It's like flaunting your bling while everyone else is tightening their belts, and it's seen as insensitive by some. The cultural appropriation lying under the excuse of cultural appreciation can be another critique to the Met Gala, with some communities feeling disrespected by the superficial nod to their culture. But perhaps the biggest criticism this year is the gala's disconnect from reality. With major issues like the war in Gaza and TikTok's potential ban looming, while TikTok being one of the most important sponsors of the gala, it seems like the fashion world is living in its own bubble. Fashion has always been political, whether we like it or not. It's not just about looking pretty. It's about making a statement and taking a stand. Maybe, following this year's Met Gala, the fashion industry will see it as a wake-up call to get real. So now, let's sit back, reflect, and ponder the deeper meaning behind the glitz and glamour of the Met Gala. Thank you very much for having listened to this episode of my Fashion Stories Box podcast. The Met Gala doesn't have any secret left for you, and I encourage you to go deeper in your analysis of this red carpet event than just looking at how beautiful the outfits are. Feel free to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen your podcast, to connect with me on Instagram and Facebook to complete the podcast with some visuals. And if you like my podcast, feel free to leave a comment or a review. I will really appreciate it. I am Catherine, and this is my Fashion Stories Box podcast, a podcast about stories in fashion history. See you next time for a new Fashion Story Box.